Hi there, welcome to BoxPred. In this video I'm going to be talking about and giving my prediction on the upcoming fight between Vitali Klitschko and Odlanier Solis, which is happening on the 19th of March, and it's for the Vitali's WBC Heavyweight Title. My prediction for this fight is a victory for Vitali Klitschko by decision. I'll just start going through, just run over the records. Vitali Klitschko's record is 41 victories with just 2 losses, no draws, and he has around an 88% knockout ratio. And Solis's record is he's undefeated with 17 victories, no losses, no draws, and around a 70% knockout ratio. The first thing I'd like to address is that I think this fight could be the toughest fight either Klitschko brother has had in recent times. And just to address something, if you saw my Vladimir Klitschko versus Derek Chisora prediction, you'll know that I give Derek Chisora next to no chance in that one. He is also undefeated with 14 fights. So you may ask, well, why am I giving Odlanier Solis more chance than I give Derek Chisora? Because he's only had 17 professional fights and Derek Chisora's had 14. There's only a difference of 3 fights really. The reason is Odlanier Solis has a tremendous amateur career behind him. Just to touch on that, there is a Cuban amateur boxing legend by the name of Felix Savon, who won 3 golds, heavyweight golds at the Olympics. And Odlanier Solis fought Felix Savon 3 times in all, and he won on 2 of those occasions. Odlanier Solis also defeated Felix Savon in the Olympic trials, which led up to the Olympics in 2000. However, they chose to take Felix Savon to the Olympics, where Felix Savon won the heavyweight gold, thus sparking people to say, well, Odlanier Solis should have gone instead of Savon, so Odlanier Solis should have won gold at the Olympics. He then went on, despite that, Solis did go on to win heavyweight gold at the 2004 Olympics, and this just further clarifies his amateur pedigree. And he's Cuban. He is coming from the same place as fighters like Yuriorkis Gamboa, fighters like Guillermo Rigondeaux, and a special mention by myself, a fighter like Erislandy Lara, who I would like to see compete for a world title soon. I rate him as a boxer. Erislandy Lara, watch out for him. So all of those 3 that I've mentioned, and there are probably more, but they're the 3 that spring to my mind. They are all currently having some level of success in the pro game, and this is because they bring amateur skills and cross them over into the pro game in the same way that fighters like Timothy Bradley and Amir Khan are able to. They both had good amateur careers, and they bring styles such as quick flurries, and these look good to the judges, so it gives them that advantage. Odlanier Solis brings some good, has brought his skills over to the pro game. You can tell he is at home in the ring. Being a Cuban amateur boxer, boxing is pretty much your life. You live it. You do it because you love it. You don't do it to get paid. And now it's good that some Cuban guys are coming through and getting paid for their efforts, and giving us some very exciting prospects and exciting fights. And so this experience automatically pushes Odlanier Solis's experience way up beyond what usually a 17-fight pro would have. And just to quickly talk about some of his positives, I think he's very good on the inside, and that's going to be a key in this fight. One of the questions in this fight that I'm going to pose, and I'll touch on that a bit more later, but Odlanier Solis is good on the inside, and he has knockout power with his around 70% knockout ratio. He has a good defense. He holds a high guard. He doesn't use head movement. He uses a high guard. So with the punches from the opponent, more often than not, just they bounce off his gloves, which reduces the damage that Solis takes during a fight, which is going to be a great advantage for him against someone with a jab like Vitali Klitschko, who normally breaks down his opponent by hurting them with the jab. And he can be explosive. He's got a touch of the David Hay about him. When he sets you up with a punch, he can be fast and explosive, and like I said, he has power, so he's dangerous in that respect. Okay, now I'm going to talk about some negatives for Odlanier Solis, and the first one being what a lot of people have been talking about is his weight. He's been looking very heavy. He's put on a lot of weight from his previous days, and this could affect him the longer the fight goes on. He could, especially against, in my opinion, the more mobile Klitschko brother, this could tire Solis. It depends how this is affecting his stamina. And I think he should have tried to lose a little bit of weight for this and tried to improve his stamina more than anything to give him a good chance of staying with Klitschko in this fight. He lacks head movement. And even though he does have a high glove defense, I feel if you got a good jab, you could still try and knock him back with that. You could still keep, even if you're hitting his gloves, you can still knock him back and keep him off you, which is what Klitschko is going to need to do, which I'll go into later. And he doesn't, like I said, he hasn't got good head movement really. Solis doesn't rely on that too much. And when I look at the type of fighter I think you need the type of style you need to get inside on a fighter like Vitali Klitschko is a type of fighter like Mike Tyson, who got inside on fighters for this whole, when he was in his prime, through head movement. He was so quick with the head movement. He slipped the jab, get inside and bang, do the damage. I'm finding it difficult that's the barrier for me. How does Odlanier Solis get inside? And that's the big question for me in this fight here. My big question is, can Odlanier Solis get inside on Vitali Klitschko with the style he has? Can he rely on just, I'm guessing he's going to have to pressure Klitschko and cut the ring off on him and just basically pressure him and try to just use that pressure to get close to him. To a good thing that's on Solis' side is that of the two Klitschko brothers, I think Vitali keeps his jab the lowest, and I think he's the more open. He's less robotic and he's bit more open, and this could work in Solis' favour. Because his jab is not constantly up, he does bring it down, and Solis needs to take advantage of that, and you take that opportunity. Another, just to quickly get this to say this, another disadvantage to Solis, just like any other opponent of Klitschko's, the fight's in Germany. He's going to have to do a lot to win this fight if he can't get a knockout. Okay, goes without saying. He's on Klitschko's home ground. Klitschko's got the advantage there. He's got the crowd behind him. There is a very good atmosphere when the Klitschko brothers fight in Germany. So that's going to be on Klitschko's side. So just quickly moving on to Vitali Klitschko. We do know a lot about him, but I'll just going to name a couple of advantages and the advantages first. I think his mobility in this fight. That's going to be his best advantage. He's got a good jab. He's got the power. The knockout, definitely got the knockout power. Around 88% in all the fights he's had. And I just think his mobility is going to help him a lot in this fight, and he needs to use it wisely. I think he's an adaptive boxer, Vitali. He's not quite as robotic as his brother Vladimir, which does leave him a little bit more open. That's the negative side of it. He is a bit more open to if Solis can get pressure on him, but he can use that mobility to try and tire Solis and try and maybe lure Solis into thinking he has Klitschko, and then Klitschko can maybe try and land that knockout blow. But that waits to be seen, because Solis has never been knocked out, so he's not really been tested that much. In this fight, you know, he needs to frustrate Solis. He needs to, like he does with his other opponents, he needs to frustrate Solis and dishearten him. Like I said, he may find that it's difficult to get to Solis. Where has he got to Shannon Briggs? 'Cause Shannon Briggs wasn't defending his head, Solis does. So he may not be able to. I don't think he's going to damage Solis as much in this fight, and I think it's going to be quite hard for him to get the knockout because Solis has that amateur pedigree and he has the brains behind him as well. So in this though, I think Klitschko's what it's going to come down to is, Klitschko is going to be drawing on all of his experience, and he's going to be tested. But I think he'll pull through in this one, and I think is going to go the distance. I know it's very crazy probably to say this fight's going to go the distance with two guys who are above, their 70% and 88% knockout ratios. You think this fight is no way is going to go the distance, and that may be the case. But I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say I think the fight's going to go the distance. The big question, like I said, can Odlanier Solis get inside on Vitali Klitschko? If he can cause Klitschko nightmares, be a nightmare for Klitschko, and he can really pressure him, and he could look for he can look for the stoppage. Then he could try and get the KO and stop Vitali Klitschko. And I know Vitali Klitschko's fights of late always stopping. A lot of them are stopping by knockouts, but Briggs took a lot of damage, and he went the length of the fight. He went the whole 12 rounds with Klitschko. So I don't see any reason why Odlanier Solis can't if he fights to his best of his ability. The thing that may affect this is if Odlanier Solis, like I said, tires towards the end of the fight. If his weight is affecting his stamina, if he tires, then Klitschko could get to him late on in the fight. Could be a late stoppage. Both guys have puncher's chances. Obviously the puncher's factor in there, so it could be a late stoppage either way. But like I said, I think it's going to go the whole distance. That's all I'd like to say on this fight. I'm picking Vitali Klitschko to retain his belt, retain his championship by unanimous decision, but only after being sternly tested in this one. So let's hope for a great fight. We could see a new champion, but I'm predicting we won't. So that's my opinion on the fight. Please let me know your opinion by commenting on this video. Also, please leave a comment on my homepage. And do subscribe if you like my videos. Once again, thank you for watching. This is BoxPred. I'm out.